Okay. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. My dear brothers and sister who has joined, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Today we're going to have a wonderful special session. We are into the digital era, and it is important for us to recognize the importance of digitalization or digital transformation of not only professional work, which is already there, personal work, which is also there, but in NGOs, when we work to serve the community, for the community, by the community, then it is important for us to be used to digital-based functioning to make us efficient, to make us effective, to make save time and cost less. So I call it economy, efficiency, and effectiveness, 3 E's to perform. And today we have an eminent person who has, I have personally seen, who has transformed a major Dawah organization in UK into a digitally transformed NGO, so that people who are hesitant to deal with technology, to join online programs, to be able to use login, log out systems to save time, to upload files into appropriate places, all these under Teams framework. He has been highly successful in introducing this into our practice and culture, so that great majority now are comfortable in using it, where it was quite the opposite. So while brothers and sisters join, we have Dr. Ashraf Mahmud, a university senior teacher in technology, in information communication technology, all technological matters he deals with, and he solves all our problems in the Muslim Community Association in UK. And so I hand over to Dr. Ashraf Mahmud for his presentation, and hopefully there will be more to join, and of course it's being recorded. Thank you very much, Dr. Ashraf Mahmud.
Thank you. Jazakallahu khairan, Ustadh Mamoon. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am privileged to join you. Alhamdulillah. So I believe that our brothers and sisters joining from the different part of the world, and this is one of the example of the technology. Alhamdulillah, it made us possible to see each other, greet each other, learn from each other. Is kind of again connected the world and made the world as a village, global village. Alhamdulillah. So today, as you can see that we'll be discussing about digital transformation. Digital transformation for an NGO or NGOs, we can say what, why, and how. That is the topic we have selected. Let's see how much we can discuss. I think this is a very vast topic, and if we want to really learn and practice, that is different dimension of the discussion. But to know how and what, especially what and why, that is important. Then might be justified. And I understand fully technology is always not in favor of us if we are not of the generation Z. I'll be discussing more on that. Alhamdulillah, you can see that the image I have used that has been generated by the technology. ChatGPT 4 Omni. So yeah, I didn't take this image from the internet or anything. So this is the technology is kind of in different dimension and the different era. So today we're going to discuss some of the things, not everything probably, but as from the subject, you can see that what, why, and how. What is the digital means, and what is the transformation? What is the technology? What would be the technology-driven NGO, and why it is important? Quran and Hadith supports on that. Is there any indication in Quran and Hadith? And also that why it is important in the current context, and what other people are doing and other business are transformed. And is it possible to, is it so costly to implement in NGO, or whether we can implement? And there are some steps and how we can do it. We'll be discussing, not so much, but at least we know how to do it. At least we know the very high level overview. Now, you know that what is digital means. Digital it comes from the digit. 0 and 1 is binary. But you always we think, okay, binary we understand this is mathematical 2-digit, which computer understand it is a computer language. The way we talk, computer doesn't talk like that. Only it understands 0 and 1. But this is not the case even. Computer is a hardware. It is connected to one of the wall socket to the electricity. That's all, nothing else. How it talks. So if electricity voltage, for example, up is 1, down is, for example, 0. That's the way it talks, nothing else. So electricity, and also connected to this hardware. So there are two parts. Hardware means that all this mechanical stuff, and plus we create the software applications or package which runs that hardware. Now the question is, what is transformation? Transformation is a very buzzword and is very business oriented word. I'll be talking about this, but from the technological perspective, but at least business perspective, if we understand the transformation, it means the change. Means one form, we are in current form, obviously we are practicing so much, so many things manually, right? But we think that we have done great job, but it's not. If we think about the last 30 years, 1990 to 2024, I think more than that, 34 years, if we can think of, the way the technology evolved and the world has been shaped, it hasn't been changed like that. In 300 years, you cannot imagine, but there are change, always been changed in last 300 years, after, even though Rasul Sallallahu when they passed away, after his wafat, and you can see that so much change happened in terms of technology, even in 700 BC and others. But the change is always happening, but not that much fast in this context, in current context. So we need to be changed, transformed. Transformation of NGO is another way we can say that if NGO, we don't want to actually explain what is NGO. So everybody coming from NGO. So I'm not going to give a definition of NGO, non-government organization, how it works, how it operates privately and voluntary basis. However, how we can actually reimagine this NGO, how we can rebuild the NGO, how we can restructure the NGO, how we can re-examine that NGO. That's the important part. If we can do this, that we can say transformation, ability to think about the change and also think about changing the mindset of culture, organization culture. And we can plan for very futuristic view. We can focus on talents who can do the job, But it's not that thousands of employees. We might have the hundreds and thousands of employees, but we are not thinking about everybody. So only we can think how we can, headhunt or pick up the talent and then work on them, give them tasks to rebuild our organization. Then what is the digital transformation? The digital transformation means that leveraging the technology to streamline the process, automate the task, and enhance the decision-making process, and also make the NGO to propel the growth. It always expecting growth on what basis? The basis of the the technology. Now, why it is important in the current context? We are so much bogged down. Like one of the cartoon I have found in the internet, though, given the reference, you can find that you are in luck. I have got the most recent minutes right here. If you maintain so many paperwork, you need a big space of the office. And now you are actually maintaining all the works, and someone said, okay, can you find me for something in 2011 in one of the things? Can you find out, is it possible? It's quite impossible at the moment. Now, the technology made it possible, just simply one click or two clicks ahead. Simple as that. Now, you need to understand that what is the difference between the 3Ds. As I mentioned, the digital transformation, but I want to, explain in different way that 3Ds means digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation. One is like you just started the process. The information we have, that is, we can convert into digital means. Organizing the information, this is one kind of thing. You can say this is digitization. However, when you build a applications package and softwares and to automate the process, streamline the process, yes, you are building the digital infrastructure, but still is not the digital transformation. When can we call digital transformation? When we see that the whole organizations in line with this technology, uses of the technology, and everybody's cultures are changed. They are coming to the meeting and everybody can give their input through the device, and in 2020, the Internet of Things, and there is a statistics called everybody will have this around 7 devices will be connected, everyone. And I'll be giving some statistics that how much time you're spending on internet, all those things. It has changed, totally changed, cultural change. So first we are thinking about the conversion, then adoption, and then creation. That is the thing. 3Ds. What would be the framework in very, the gross and very high level framework would be strategic plan. Otherwise, you cannot do anything. And we have to, define the roles and use the tools and technique. And obviously, evaluation would be or monitoring in place. Now, the implementation of any software or application, if you think of, we have to pre-select, that means what is our requirement based on the NGO, obviously, and the install all of the things and configure all of the things. And then after installation, what would be the scenario of post-installation that are faced? So that would be this technology. In terms of why, what, and how, if we say what means include the technology, data, and process. Why? Because without process, without optimizing the sustainability of the work, you cannot move on for the future. So we need the data. I'll be explaining what is data and information later, but this is without data, you cannot take the decision. And obviously, we can use the technology, always in terms of anywhere, everywhere, like cloud-based technology, artificial intelligence will be helping us to do it. And why? Because organization need growth, need innovation, taking the vision 2050 or 2070. So how can you match with that? Because technology evolving and changing the whole shape of the world. Now my organization is so much behind, and we are taking vision, we are not adopting the technology. And then how? Only way it can be possible, that is cultural change of the organization. In terms of strategy, of course, we want to make our NGO optimized way, run NGO optimized way. And secondly, we want to transform our NGO. Now, what are the elements involved? One is culture, another one is knowledge, could be wisdom, we can say, capability, that means decision making, workforce performance, and employee change, leadership especially. Now, why it is important? Is there any indication in Quran and Hadith? Otherwise, we cannot be motivated. Yes, one thing we need to understand, that always Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us the wisdom. And obviously, wisdom cannot be coming without technology. It is a part of the wisdom. Technology is a part of the wisdom. Allah says in the Quran, "Kama arsalna fikum rasulam minkum yatlu alaykum ayatina wa yuzakkikum wa yuallimukumul kitaba wal hikma wa yuallimukum ma lam takunu ta'lamun." And the another ayahs, Allah said, "Wallazi ba'asa fil ummiina rasulam minhum yatlu alaykum yatlu alayhim ayatihi wa yuzakkihim wa yuallimuhumul kitaba wal hikma wa in kanu min qablu lafi dalalim mubin." If you see that all this, and a lot of examples in the hadith also, and there is no better gift than the words of wisdom. Wisdom is full of wisdom. Quran is a wisdom. Rasul, you can say that it had been taught by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was the human being. And all prophets are human beings. And all this human being comes with the Naba, Nubuwa, prophet. What is the means? The information. We call it information. And we understand that without information, it cannot be wisdom. But can we think that information without technology? Answer is no. Yes. So how it relates? We have a model called WeKit. That's my model actually. I was thinking like this in that way. We said data for fact and figures. When say information, process data meaningful way. For example, I am delivering the speech. If you say speech, delivering, I, and then the, and you can make a jumble of the words. All these words, is it make sense? Answer is no. When you process and say, I am delivering the lectures or presentation, you say, then it meaningful way to present. So that is called processing data. Until and unless you process the data, it cannot be called information. When you learn the information, we call it knowledge. When we apply the knowledge into the real world field, that is called experience. When we combine the knowledge and experience, we call it wisdom. Now you may question that where is the technology? Where is the digital transformation? I say technology is the technique of transforming the knowledge into practice. We are always using technique. We didn't realize today we are using computer, using Zoom. We are using, but we are not actually saying it that it is technology. But we are using technology. Without technology, it cannot be possible to make knowledge into practice. However, all this process involved to use the technology is called the digital transformation. Digital transformation means that we are using technology to make our knowledge into practice. That's the whole idea. That relates to the wisdom. And Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was taught wisdom. And the NGO we are trying to transform, that is also based on the wisdom. And we are moving on, moving forward. Futuristic view, we want to move ahead. So there are a lot of examples in the Quran and Hadith. We cannot say how to ride a bicycle. We cannot find in the Quran, but we can find a lot of sign. Sign links to the science. So technology always helps to automate the task and decision-making process. So science is always there. How? If we can study the Surah Nahl, Surah Namal, so many surahs, it's full of sign. If we think about tadabbur, وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Tafakkur and tadabbur, there is two words, always reflection and contemplation. That is two important words in Quran. Until and unless we do this, we cannot find anything. Whereas everything in there, everything in there. You think about the 858, Al-Battani. Think about the trigonometry, all the geographical knowledge. Think about the Al-Khwarizmi, Muhammad ibn Musa, invented the algorithm. Without algorithm, today we are nowhere. No mobile, no laptop, no nothing. Think about this. Mathematics, we are trying to say, oh, to study mathematics is haram. To study English is haram and giving fatwa. right? Because it's not in the Quran. Is it the things we are doing? So think about it. It's kind of the main fundamental base is algorithm. An algorithm, who made it? One of the Muslim scholar. So based on the algorithm, whole civilization, the sit on. Can you imagine then without tadabbur, without tafakkur, how did? Of course, they studied Quran and they understand in which direction we are praying to. So how do we find the direction? Then straight away, they are inventing the trigonometry. Think about this. So sign full of sign links to the signs. This is the Quran. And we can actually go on and on, but just telling you that study the Quran, and some other scholars also they are saying, but still there are gaps I have found. For example, I was listening one of the lectures from the Yasir Kadir. Yasir Kadir was mentioning some of the things happening in the world and how artificial intelligence changed the world. He was just explaining the consequences, and he was explaining the general AI. Actually, the word would be the generative AI, but he mentioned, because he's not expert on that one. That is one of the things I feel, that those who are scholar on Quran and Hadith, but at the same time, those who are expert on science and technology, we can have the collaborative work so that we can find so many things, so that we can, contribute to the world. And evolution happening in the whole, the change is happening now. The 6G is coming, not 5G, which you can use the 5G to download one of the movie within 10 seconds. So it's kind of so fast. We are academician. As an academician, we are actually working on 6G, not 5G. 5G is over. China and Japan, they are using. UK, when you are not, it is not using 5G, right? They call it 5G, but it's not the 5G. So 5G even implemented yet. But we are thinking as an academician and research level is 6G, right? And publishing papers and all other things. And that will be coming in after 5 years or 10 years. But anyway, so technology is so much so, but there are a lot of limitation as well. And there are question of ethics as well using the technology. However, all are guided by the Quran. Look at the Surah Hujurat. They use the Naba, as I said, the 160 times used in the Quran. This is the information. And they always use the information, but linked to the technology. Musa alayhi salam was given the artificial intelligence, the technology. Strike a dry process means that kun fayakun, this is the haq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you press the button, everything can be destroyed, everything can be built. How is it possible? That is based on the automation. An automation already done. And he was a human being. Allah gave this knowledge, understanding. Think about the Dawood alayhi salatu wasalam. He was given the radar technology, right? Now, he said, understanding the bird's echo. See the birds when they fly like a radar, yeah? Like, 3 triangle size there. Simply, you think about the flight when the aeroplane is coming and going, landing, all these things monitored by the radar. Why? Because we can learn the sign given, the echo of the bird, what he understood. From that point of view, how echo happening, and modern days, they invented the radar. Think about the Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam. Study the Surah Mamoon. ayat number 16 is, and he understood the language of the bird. Now the language, we cannot just imagine. All this text, audio, image, video, everything can be converted to generative AI. Also the language, the different language can be translated in the multiple language. So you cannot imagine. And I can just share one of the, for example, the even though if you can convert all your voice to the text, for example, let me try okay. So I'm delivering the lectures. Can you see that my voice is translated into text? So the Microsoft Azure AI, they have developed a lot of the AI, cognitive AI, but 28 different types of AI. You cannot imagine that so much they have advanced. I can show you this one. AI, computer visions, face recognition, custom vision, speech service, language service, translator, and bot service. You can ask anything. This is all the customized way for your organization. You can make it. You don't need to worry about it. Already they have developed it very dynamic way. You don't need to worry about it, but you can make it for your organization, very customized way. Artificial intelligence, you can use it. Okay, so also, for example, translation. Google Translation, everybody knows. But for example, DeepL. So I'm just writing something and changing to the, for example, Indonesian, or okay, Indonesian. For example, I'm delivering my lectures. You write down something. We are so much happy, right? So it's translating into Indonesian language. Now, why is everything is available? The technology. The Sulaiman alayhi salatu wassalam, if we can think of that, the technology has been given to him only. If you say Mojeza, yeah, I understand. But the sign, from the sign, we need to understand that he was human being. He's a human being, and he was taught something. And he learned from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This technology is hidden there. We can find from his the sign, from the sign. For example, you can see that Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam smiled when the ant was speaking to his colleagues, right? How it is possible? Nanotechnology is possible, right? So sign is there. Why I am not pondering upon it? Why not doing tadabbur or tafakkur to find out the science behind it? Think about Surah Naml, this another ayah, like bringing a throne of the Bilqis, Queen Bilqis, right? How is it happening? Holographic image, the augmented reality, virtual reality. I'm not talking about all this technology is very in-depth. So we can have another 2 hours lectures based on only technology. That is different story, but I'm just giving the idea that how we can think is very high level overview. Think about the Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, right? Exactly the same way. And now think about the Facebook is all changed into Meta. What is they are integrating? Augmented reality. This is nothing but all these imaginary things and feelings really. Feelings will be like you feel physically, but this is all are imaginary. Virtual things feel, physically. You can feel physically, but all the things happening virtually. That is the augmented reality. Think about the meeting. So you are talking from there, Hong Kong, and I'm talking from London. Yes. Now imagine that we can have a room. Yeah. Ustadh Mamoon is sitting just next to me, and Brother Yusuf is sitting just next to me as a holographic image. We're talking each other. Only thing is we cannot hug each other. Other than everything is fine. That will be happening here. Think about the uses technology in medical science. You have a device, like you take the device and think about the patient's the heart, whole heart. You can see visually in front of you, and you can see what is happening, right? You don't need to do anything. The technology made it possible, and with the holographic image, and that is the world we're heading to. If we cannot imagine now, we cannot shape our Islamic or any organization. Is not possible because it's so behind. When it happened, then we wonder how it happened. Yeah, right? What happened? We are not actually thinking in advance. That's the one. And Rasulullah used the technology in so many ways. You cannot imagine. I cannot actually give the lot of examples. Battle of Ahzab, trench. But think about the Rasulullah when coming from the Hunayan and going to, attack the Taif, the fortified Taif. And all these companions and pressurize him and go, let's go. But Rasul didn't go. Without blind, inspiration. He said, no, listen, go first. He sent Urwa ibn Masud and Ghalian ibn Salama to one of the non-Muslim tribe. Though in Sirah, we all are agreed that probably the non-Muslim tribe, when they go there and they learn the technology, catapult. In the history, Muslim used this catapult first time and fast in the world. It was quite impossible, and they learned the best technology and used it. You cannot imagine. Now, if we think about the current world, 1990 2024, 5.35 billion is, I'm talking about the recent this month statistics, current July statistics. This is the 5.35 billion people are using the internet. 2.7 billion people still is not connected to the internet. How much time they're spending? Cannot imagine. 6.5 hours per day they are spending on internet. And if you accumulate everybody's internet usage of internet, how much time you are spending? Can you imagine? 1.5 billion years in a day. 1.5 billion years in a day. You cannot imagine. Is it really quite amazing statistics, and it's correct statistics. We are thinking of going to the another planet by using the taxi, SpaceX. Just use the taxi to go and let's see how the other planet is. Elon Musk made it possible. And think about all these organizations, how they transform. Amazon, Tesla, or Airbnb. It's within short period of time, within 1 year, 2 years. You cannot imagine. Think about the OpenAI, the ChatGPT, when it comes within 1 year, they is actually 2 million users they managed to gather. It's not like if think about the 1970s. These people used to think, but they could not use the technology. The Fred Smith, he appointed the rope cart in 2000. They said, how can we actually make our business boom? And then the Rob Carter, she was saying that simplicity, standardization, cloud first mentality. Yeah. This word was not understandable, even the imaginable in 2000. It's not possible because nobody knows what is cloud. Cloud means, oh, sky. But cloud means the computer, where all these documents kept, saved. Now, Gary Hamel is saying, look, do you know how we can fail? We can fail to predict it, but we can fail to imagine. If we fail to imagine it, that is our failure. When we cannot think, we have no ability to think. That is the main failure. Okay, so enough talking about all these things, but let's see how and why it's important. We understand that somehow the technology is important, but what is the benefit it's bringing? Of course, it's bringing the efficiency, saving money, influence the decision making, allow organization to be more flexible, adaptable. Someone is so much, for example, employee, half of the work he is doing from the home, right? But his production is so much higher than the person is coming physically to the office. Might be. You cannot imagine. That is possible. It reduces the environmental footprint. So this is how. So from NGO perspective, efficiency, communication, collaboration, and enhance the beneficiary engagement, strengthening the fundraising effort, data-driven insight. As a CEO, he can see every day in the morning what is happening in the organization through the dashboard, right? All these pie chart, all these, bar charts, all these things, he can imagine that, yeah, until today, this is my financial condition. This is the activities we have done, all in his dashboard when he opened the computer. Analytics, big data analytics with the cloud computing. To make it possible, yes, can you have the digital expert? Yes, you can. First, you need to plan strategically how your organization is customized way, bespoke way, can be done and can be transformed. How do we process optimize and the data analysis, innovation, and competitive advantage and improve the customer experience? All these things can be possible through planning. Who can plan? You can plan, but it is better if you call digital expert, you can help and support. But first thing first, for our case, we need to actually understand that our limitation. Why is so much, we are not so much limited? We are limited because we born in 1971. We are Generation X. Think, I have shown that the year you born. You think, everybody in this room, can you think which generation you are in? The generation 1997 to 2012, they are Generation Z. They are so fast. They can catch easily everything, in the current context, current world. And anything you cannot do, just you go to your, grandson, probably your son or grandson going to, oh, can you help me to do this? Because why? They know better than us. Why? Because we did not experience all of the things, but the day they born, same day they started experiencing all these things, all this environment, current context, current world. But For example, our English language, muscle sound has not been changed, right? How they can speak in their accent? We cannot, because our muscle sound was not built. That's the reason, nothing else. So generation is changing. So we need to understand that the Generation G is so fast, and they are confident, and they are using technology. They are so much connected with the world in sophisticated way. They are so much influencer, and they are so much independent, so much media oriented, futuristic view. They are so much fast, flexible, adapting things easily, but we cannot. So all these things happening with the emerging technology. What is the emerging technology? I already mentioned the number of technologies. After 2050, just quantum computing started. Now the speed we are actually thinking, we need a speed like a light that can be possible through the quantum is not implemented yet. But quantum computing started with the qubits, right? But artificial intelligence, machine learning, augmented reality, and Internet of Things, blockchain, digital twin. Digital twin is one of the way, like you can, before implementing the industry, exactly as it is through the digital twin, you can test and evaluate. It's possible. Technology is there. Edge AI and distributed base decision-making process with the artificial intelligence, lot of machine learning algorithm. I have given one landscape. I cannot, it's not possible, the Internet of Things and how the big data analytics will work, and in 2050, within 10 years, how it will be shaped, all these things in one landscape, but it's difficult to, because of the time constraint. Think about it. For example, I know that Britain Prime Minister has been changed, and the TBI, the Tony Blair, working on the age of AI, Britain 24, they are predicting that 200 billion pounds they can save over the 5 years time if we use, one of the academicians, Dr. Mark Warner, is working there, and they are thinking radical change, and this is gone in the UK. How can analysis can be brought back? They say it is possible. Even all these companies they studied in 1997 and the 2024, all these company adopted all this artificial intelligence technology. 15 company. Can you see that the pink color right hand side? All this pink color, all this company they adopted already. Cannot imagine. JP Morgan, they say 15 billion pound a year on technology they're spending. 15 billion pounds. And they're accommodating 2,000 artificial intelligence expert. 2,000 who knows the machine learning, who knows these machine talks. So they know, and 85%, all this CEO, if you think about the overall, 85% CEO, they think that without accommodating the artificial, you cannot grow. You cannot simply grow. This is not the choice. This is necessity, right? This is not that whether we will introduce or not. This is not the question. Question is, this is necessity. You need to introduce for your organization, for your NGO. Now you think, oh, so much money. How can we actually, we can introduce? Yes, possible. I'll explain that bit later. Think about the pandemic in the UK and all over the world. In the UK, 373 billion pounds they have spent for the Ukraine war. the crisis, energy price crisis, and or 55 billion pound. Now all these things, they can be managed. It can be managed. Is possible through the using the artificial intelligence is nothing but machine stocks. How? When you gave the data and using the algorithm, machine learning algorithm, and train the machine and test it with, for example, 70% data with the training and 30% data for testing. And what is the accuracy rate? Then you can, just simply decide that this algorithm fits in because of the accuracy. Now, then you deploy that machine and use that machine. You see that your 90% accuracy is coming from there. So the more data you train, train the machine with more data, your machine will give the more accuracy. This is how the generative AI, built. It is a big development. I'll be talking just now. The artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning also is one of the things is actually contributing. All this company, the state of art, the Microsoft Azure system, OpenAI, it's a generative AI. I'll be talking about this. Sam Altman in 2018, the Elon Musk was the co-director. He left because there are dispute between them. Now the big data analytics cloud company, they integrated the Google DeepMind office in London, and the CEO is working on them. There's like hugely number of things working on. They're actually day and night they are working on it. The artificial intelligence in religious aspect, I just given 2 slides only. This is not the subject, so that's but to understand that, think about the one alim, how much he can study. We can study couple of Sahih Hadith and Quran, not much. Thousands of books can be taught to the machine, and machine can speak. You can have the alim big check, right? But you have to have a check and balance with the ethical aspect. And we are teaching, whatever you're teaching, it will talk. Now you're teaching the only Sahih Hadith and the Quran, right? And thousands of volumes of the books still is not translated into. You cannot imagine that is not been translated into in Arabic language. And all these things you can teach the machine can give the finest answer probably. So we can, that's the development already it's happening in the religious world. The Buddhist, they are using the robot for their funeral. They said, okay, if you hire one imam, that means Buddhist priest, right? You have to pay 1,500 pounds. Now, if you hire this robot, you pay only 500 pounds. That's all. You don't need to do anything. A robot will do everything. Our funeral works will be completed. Yes, already started, right? We are, so the humanoid robot, you think about, probably you heard about it, is already is happening, that they acting so much intelligent, with so much intelligence, because they can learn from their own activity through the deep learning process. As I said, deep learning is a subset of the artificial intelligence, machine learning. Now, think about the generative AI. I've just separated the generative AI is really important. It has so much potential to change the world in ways that we cannot even imagine. Bill Gates comment on it. Now, all these image, text, audio, videos, all these things, and you can separate all the fake data. It's possible through this process. Is the fastest growing. You cannot see that as I already have mentioned that last 30 years or 80 years, if you think about it, we haven't changed much. But now the curve, you can see that first revolution, so high in terms of capability and revolution. So first, sharply, curve is sharply, the red curve, can you see that? Sharply up, because it's so fast and change is happening so much so. We can see so many, area changes happen during the, previous 1990. It has changed so slowly, but now it's so fast. So we need to adopt it. I have given some links and some you can just experience it. I can show one of the ChatGPT for Omni or Gemini. For example, you ask one of the question that how can you create a digital transformation plan for an NGO? They said, no, you have to give the details. What are the details? What is your mission? What is your vision? What is the main programs? What is how you actually NGO currently operate? Where is your office, right? Where the key challenge you are facing? What is your budget? What is your timeline? What is the key stakeholder? On specific technology platform are you using currently? Probably you are using some of the technologies already. What are the goals and what you want to achieve from the digital transformation? All these details make a prompt. Is it really important? Write a prompt. Then it will give the correct answer. But based on the prompt, how nicely you actually give the prompt. So I asked ChatGPT, see one of the prompt, create a digital transformation plan for an NGO like Global Aid Trust. Its mission to alleviate poverty in the world, educating disadvantaged child. It is operating from the UK. Global Aid Trust is facing number of challenges, blah, blah. So you are giving little more details than what is answer. And specific answer, it can give them specific answers. Now, so this is the image. Can you see that? I didn't create. It has been created by let me show you. This is the session that before joining the session, I was just, you can say anything. You can you make an image for digital transformation non-government organization? I just wrote this. Yeah. So given, can you create the image for me? It is creating image. Right? Whatever you say, it will be doing your job. You don't need doctor, a barrister to write your all policy documents, but you have to write your policy, even whatever language it is. In English, even grammatical mistake is fine. Write down the point, give it to him, right? It will give a fantastic job. You'll see that check with one of the lawyer. He said, oh my God, even I cannot produce this kind of documents. And lawyer failed. So all these things happening, and think about, for example, already I talked about this, Gemini, right? So same question you ask Gemini, because it's not giving it's giving only, it's not creating image, but it can answer the text. But there are versions. You can, even the same question, if I ask, for example, what was the question? Let me just paste it from here. In the Gemini, right? What is happening? Okay, So you have to write down something. So create a digital transformation, right? Plan for an NGO, right? See, it's writing, but it is giving the 3 types of version. But ChatGPT for Omni, that's giving the finest version, but only 1. But you can actually generate so much image and other stuff. So can you see that it's giving the answer? You ask that what your organization can do, particularly write your organization details, obviously, the name of the organization, vision, mission, everything is nicely, make a good prompt. That is called prompt. Then it's giving the very nice answer. You don't need to actually coming to the lecture to learn that how to transform your organization. It's really quite amazing. But this it will be developed more. Is more things is coming. As I say, that more things is coming. But anyway, so now let me just simply, okay, where are we? Yeah. So some exercise we have done. This is the ChatGPT image, as I say. Can you just give me the feedback about how do you feel to use technology in your organization? What is your what do you think after listening all my presentation? You can just scan this from your mobile, or let me paste this link in the chat. I think that could be, let me see chat. Yeah. And click and give me the feedback, please. So let me see. If you cannot see, please let me know. And yeah, can you see that?
In the chat, we have a link.
Yeah, in the chat, we have a link. Can you click on the link? Very simple. I didn't make it complicated. Just to, practice and that how it has been transformed real-time basis, how we can get the feedback. Very real-time basis. Can you click on that link and give us feedback for the uses of technology in NGO? It's not an option, it's necessity. Anybody? You got the link? Or this is the, you can scan this barcode, and if you are using the same device, I think it will be difficult. But what you can do, click on the link in the chat and give the feedback. Yeah.
Number 5, there is an MCA NGO question. That's okay.
Quickly, if you can.
I have submitted.
Yeah. So this is how it is. Real-time basis, you can get the result. Just to, get the experience, nothing else. So it's automatically you are giving that how do you see yourself a tech savvy 6.67, and you are saying concentrate more digital transformation. Sorry, this is probably the mistake I have done. Let me correct it. MCA was there because we have used for MCA. Yeah. Yeah. I've changed it this one. So the link is, yeah. So you can see that smooth running, so 8.25. So real-time basis possible to
instant
instant feedback, yes.
overview.
Overview, yes. How digital transformation can be done for the NGO. Already we have talked about it, but quickly, I'll not skip this slide actually. The key area to focus, the automation, data management, fundraising, obviously digital fundraising, collaboration tools facilitate the communication within your stakeholder, social media engagement. Of course, you need to maintain the security, capacity building, focus on import, and also that can be possible through a vision and goals. And most important part is cloud service you can use is really important. And you can use so many softwares, application packages, the CRM systems and digital tools, website. You need to have the dynamic website, fundraising platforms with the database and Microsoft Teams, and especially the cloud, Microsoft 365. These are the application already developed for you for free of cost, zero cost, zero. You can just configure for your organization. And as a volunteer organization, you can use a lot of application. If you want to actually build this application, it's not possible. Even normally, when you build one of the software, digital infrastructure, as I said, 67% cost in there. Sorry, as 14% cost in there. But to maintain the software is 67% cost involved. So it's very difficult and it takes time, long time to build. We need to do the piloting and then, properly, after having all this feedback and then rectify it, coding, and then stabilize your software is not easy. So all software is built already. So only thing is that you have to configure and customize in bespoke way for your organization. That's the best way, I think. You call it in cloud computing, we said IaaS, the infrastructure as a service, PaaS or platform as a service, or you can say SaaS, software as a service. Which service you are buying? But is normal commercial organization need to buy this service from the Microsoft, Amazon, Google? They are also the competitor, but the Microsoft Azure is the platform we're using for free. Data management analytics, you can use it. Even big data analytics, all this, as I said, I have shown the, I have logged on probably the, yeah, so I have shown you already that I have logged on with the Microsoft Azure. So all these things is happening. Monitoring evaluation is possible, and scalability, sustainable practice, governance, compliance, everything can be done through. But only thing is that it cannot be possible. You are thinking after my presentation, some of you thinking, oh no, yes, we should do it, but you cannot. Transformation is totally different until and unless you change the mindset of the whole organization, employees. Employee have to think that all of the things could be adopted. We have to leave all this practice behind, and we have to be, familiarized with and usage of all this new technology. Until you do that, you cannot get or you cannot achieve new result. Mindset is you find the resistance, denial, or panic. Oh, it's gone. I cannot do it. I can, it's all panic. But always think positively. How it can be positive? Because technology can go wrong or give some trouble, but You have to be patient. But even as a person, it might, as a person also, we cannot do everything perfectly. It's not possible. This is how human means error. Allah created with error, isn't it? So mindset has to be prepared to accept the change. And leadership always embrace the change, introduce the change, deploy the change, and the whole organization growth will be drastically different and depends on the leadership. We have a mindset. Failure is an opportunity to grow. That's the growth mindset. If you say failure is the limit of my ability, oh, I cannot do it. Not possible for me. That's the fixed mindset. Growth mindset is failure is an opportunity to grow. I can learn to do anything I want. You know, in my PhD, one thing I have learned, without it's from the dark and without knowledge of anything, we don't know anything, but still we can do. From the vacuum, we can do something. That's the courage I have learned from the PhD. That's the motivation. You can do. I cannot, that is not the word. I can. We can. That's the important part. So always deal with the resistance to change, manpower. Obviously, we have to look after the cybersecurity risk, which actually this is the challenge, but we have to deal with the challenge. Resistance to change, if you cannot deal, then failure. Lack of adoption of the technology, failure of the organization. Lack of effective communication, failure of the organization. Change the mindset, change the culture, change the strategy, use the technology, you have a success. Absolutely. No ifs and buts. We are thinking the artificial intelligence will do the job, everything and everything. No, that is the added value. As a human being, what we are using, when we are using artificial intelligence, you see that this is the added value. We use the artificial intelligence to grow. So that is, and then you see that it will be perfect. But just leave the job for the artificial intelligence, everything. So that's not the way. We should use as a human being and use as a technology. At the end, Allah says, He cannot change. He cannot change you until you change. Okay? When those who strive in our cause will certainly guide them to our path, for verily Allah is with those who do the right things. Right things to do and do the things right. We have to do effectively and efficiently. That is the terminology, true terminology. We know that. That's the way we believe that we can achieve the digital transformation in one of the NGO. Jazakumullahu khairan for listening. I believe that within the time I have finished. Ustadh, Mamoon. I was so worried I cannot finish.
Okay, actually, we normally have maximum 1.5 hours, including discussion. So if anybody has any question or comment, please unmute and speak. Anybody wants to make any comment or ask questions? Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Ashraf Mahmud, for your presentation. Really, I think one of the challenges, as you mentioned in your presentation, is to convince our people involved, especially at the staff, that they, instead of viewing it as a kind of chance of growth, many of